Damien Leake has rewritten the Masters Track and Field record book, setting age group world records in the 50, 60, 100, and 200 meter dashes. He runs fast, but he would like to recover a little faster.
The older we get, the longer it takes to recover, huh?
I tell you, come out of that turn on that 2, it looks like that a mile away. It looks like it's a mile away, and I don't even like the 2, as I say.
He might not like the 200, but these days he owns it. Leake is the fastest man over 70 who has ever lived. Born in the Bronx, he grew up in a multi-generational household and remembers his father, an Army veteran, reading Shakespeare to his great-grandfather, a man born a slave who couldn't read.
And he would do Julius Caesar, why man, he doth bestride this narrow world like a colossus, and we petty men walk under his huge legs, and people bow. And he'd do this in this great baritone voice, and I'm looking at him like, what the hell are you talking about?
When he was encouraged to audition for New York's prestigious High School of Performing Arts, he recited a speech from Shakespeare and was accepted. He landed his first acting job as a senior, and with the exception of a stint in the Army, has worked ever since, appearing in more than 70 films, including Serpico, Death Wish, Apocalypse Now, The Great Debaters, and The Killing Floor. On television, he's appeared in NCIS, SWAT, Ghost Whisperer, Medal of Honor, Assisted Living, and dozens more. And he's been equally busy on and off Broadway as an actor, singer, dancer, composer, and playwright. His father also sparked a lifelong interest in civil rights activism. Damien was 12 when Medgar Evers was assassinated and 14 when Malcolm X was assassinated.
So when Medgar was killed, he was very angry and he was very upset, but he explained it in a very calm and rational way. When Malcolm X was killed, it was a very similar thing. He came home, and I remember him coming in the house and being very frustrated and angry, and now I'm starting to understand what's going on.
3 years later, Martin Luther King Jr. was assassinated, and 16-year-old Damien was crushed.
I was devastated by it, emotionally devastated by it, because I thought, if you're going to kill a man whose attitude is just let's be peaceful and we have to have peaceful resolutions for things, well, then there's terribly little hope for us. And I was very angry. And it was in that moment that I decided, no, I was not going to stand for the national anthem again. So it was ever since that, and I've not stood for it since.
Just 6 months later, his love for track and field and his belief in civil rights activism intersected at the 1968 Mexico City Olympics. He cheered as Tommie Smith and John Carlos took the gold and bronze medals in the 200 meters and then ignited a firestorm of controversy with their Black Power salute on the podium.
It was such an aha moment that I was thrilled. I was thrilled by the gesture. I have a poster of it in my house. I was thrilled by the gesture. It was just overwhelming to me.
The U.S. Olympic Committee expelled both Smith and Carlos from the Games, but decades later they've become iconic symbols of human rights, winning the Arthur Ashe Award for Courage, inducted into the U.S. Olympic Hall of Fame, and honored by presidents.
We're honored to have here the legendary Tommie Smith and John Carlos here today. Their powerful silent protest in the 1968 Games was controversial, but it woke folks up.
Damien ran into Tommie Smith one day at Santa Monica College, where Smith was coaching.
And I went over to him and I said, Mr. Smith, I cannot explain to you what you've done for us all, and I want you to know how much I appreciate it. And he said, well, I'm still out here doing what I can do. And that's been my attitude about everything since that. I'm going to do what I can do.
That desire to make a difference led to a passion that Damien says has transformed his life: coaching kids. His team is called Leak Sleepers, and he teaches them as much about success in life as he does in long jumping.
Give me a 10-year-old who suddenly gets that look on his face of, that was great, and that smile. Oh, baby, I melt. It's changed me totally. I have to say, it's a wonderful, wonderful feeling.
He doesn't only coach the kids on his team, he coaches anyone that he thinks he can help.
So I go to these events sometimes, and I'm sitting in the stands, and somebody will come up to me and say, "Well, which of these kids are yours?" And I say, "All of them. They're all mine." So, and sometimes I get flack from other people or other parents and what have you. They say, "Well, you kind of just coach all the kids." Yeah, isn't that why we're here? Isn't that why we're here? I don't understand any other way. It's like, this is how we're supposed to do, isn't it?
It was at an all-comers meet for athletes of all ages that he first realized there was such a thing as masters track and field.
What? You mean we get to still do this? Oh! So 2 weeks later, I ran my first meet. And one of the guys who was timing said, "You're only like a half second off the world record." And I went, "Oh, now I have to train." now I have to train.
And the rest is track and field history.
What's it like to be you? Because I think arguably you are one of the hottest names in all of Masters track and field right now.
It's very nice, and I appreciate it, but I'm having a good time, and that's what counts. The good time. As long as you're enjoying it. That's the deal. I think the main thing is the camaraderie. I think that it gives us a community. It gives us a sense of belonging and getting to do something that we love to do.
Damien Leake, actor, athlete, human rights activist, and coach, a man on the move, and that's his message for all.
That's just it, what you just said. Keep it moving. You got to keep it moving. I mean, this is your shot. This is your time. No matter what happens to you or what, presents itself, you got to keep moving. You got to keep it going. Keep it stepping, We're here for that long. That's as long as we're here. Keep it moving. On to the next thing, because it's only for a little while.